Hi everyone, this is Carrie with Side by Side Educational Consulting, where we work side by side with educators to improve outcomes for all kids. In my previous video, I introduced the sound spelling cards that are in a lot of these programs, and today I want to just go a little bit deeper to talk about how these sound spelling cards work. And after we do that, I'll have some other videos that show you actually how to use them in the classroom. But the first step is really just to understand how these work as a teacher, so then you can teach that to your kids. Sound spelling cards usually are set up in a way that color code the consonants and vowels, and the color coding can vary a little bit, but some things are pretty standard in all of the cards that are used. One of the things that I often see is that the short vowels are often color coded in green. So you'll see with this set, which is from Open Court Reading, they are color coding their short vowel, which is the lamb card, which represents ah, because the lamb says ah. They're color coding that in green. And that's really important when you get to some of the consonant cards, because when you see a green box, for example, so this is the camera card, k, with a green box CK, and you have the jump card, j, with a green box DGE. When you see those, kids can start to visually see, instead of just memorizing rules, visually understand that they're only going to use these spellings for those sounds if they have a short vowel green box vowel before them. That's really, really helpful for kids in understanding when to use some of those consonant spellings, because some of them only occur with certain vowel sounds. Some other things to understand about these cards that was really great is, and I kind of referenced this, every one of them has a picture that goes with the card, and the picture represents the phoneme, the picture represents the sound, whereas the spellings underneath represent the graphemes, and the graphemes are how we spell those sounds. That's what makes English so difficult. You know, we've got about 45 sounds in our language, but we've got over 200 ways to spell those sounds. And these sound spelling cards, I'm not going to teach all 250 ways to spell those sounds, but it's going to teach them the most frequent ways that we spell those sounds in English, and that can be really, really helpful for kids. Okay, so let's look at a few more of these cards. We've got the zipper card, and you can see the representations of those spellings. I'm going to talk now about what's shown up on a couple of these cards so far in terms of spellings, and that's this blank. So the blank represents that this spelling, GI blank for example, that's only going to occur at the beginning of a word or the beginning of a syllable. Whereas when you have something like a blank S, that's represented on the zipper card, Z, S can sometimes represent that sound, like in has. It's only going to occur at the end of a word or the end of a syllable. So that can also help kids to understand when they can use those spellings as well. Because if I'm spelling a word that has J at the end, I automatically know that I'm not going to be using this GI spelling, because that spelling doesn't occur at the end of a word in English. So keeping that in mind and looking at some of these things, there's that hound card with the H blank. That tells us that the sound spelled H only occurs at the beginning of a word or beginning of a syllable. And when we go to some of these other vowel cards, you can see how they're color-coded a little bit different. We have yellow representing our long vowel sounds and spellings. We have blue cards representing some of those other sounds in English, those vowel sounds in English. So this would be our controlled vowels and diphthongs. Just color coding those vowel sounds can help kids to understand the differences in those vowel sounds and then how they work with those consonant cards. When you use these sound spelling desk strips, they show all of those sound spellings to the kids right in front of them, and you can have them pointing to them and really using those cards to spell the words that they're spelling and anything that they're doing, whether they're in their writing or right in the middle of their reading lesson. I'll tell you right now, just working with kids, it will take kids that really struggle with spelling, help them to understand the orthographic system of English a little bit better. They'll move from being what I call random spellers, kids that might spell a word 5 different ways on a page, to at least being more strategic spellers. They might not be perfect spellers, but they're being strategic and understanding how that phoneme then connects to a grapheme. And that's going to help them tremendously just in being more consistent in their spelling, and becoming better spellers overall. You'd already learned that the sound k can be spelled with a C. Today we're going to learn that the sound k can be spelled with a green box CK. Can you all say that with me? Green box CK. That's right, green box CK. Now let's think about this. I'm wondering why this green box is here. Do you have any ideas? Think about that for a minute. Oh, I see kids thinking. That's exactly what I want to see. Can you turn to someone next to you and tell them real quick what that green box means? Whisper to them. What does it mean? She said it means that it has to have a vowel in front of it. So can CK be used at the beginning of a word? No. Very good. Now here's my question. What kind of vowel? Look back there. Everyone tell me they're the short vowels. What kind? The short vowels. So we only use CK after a short vowel. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how to use these cards, methods to use with kids to help them use the cards and become better spellers in the classroom. So be sure to tune into that. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That really does help the channel. And also remember to check out our website, sidebyside consulting.com. Thanks for watching.